Well met, lords and ladies. Jacob Butter speaking, and a warm welcome to this week's Walking Wednesday. I have a different whirring sound in the background today, that being a train. I thought that wasn't so bad. Bit of Renfe Mercancías, apparently. Something to do with cargo. Who knows? Yeah, I got let out early from class today because they're preparing for exams. In fact, compared to last week, I know that I for some reason look very tired today, even though I'm not. That's something that the welding students noticed. Despite that, honestly, this week has definitely been a little bit of the breather that I needed after you know, one quiet trip, then afterwards recovering from that, and then like playing catch up. And then afterwards, the weekend of adventures, followed up by the second week of preparation that I did early. This time, actually, not so much preparation required. In fact, oh wow, the wine glasses got kind of bad towards the end there. My mistake. In fact, this week a lot of it has been kind of like removed because I've got Teacher 4, and if you remember, Teacher 4 is the one that likes to do one-to-ones all the time, but in fact, some of them she said, okay, I need this class for this long. This week specifically, nowadays she normally says, you know, do face to face with them, you know, because I need them in class for this, that, and the other. Because now that she's seen, again from December, what I can do when left to my own devices, that's on her radar. But yeah, this time, not really the case. And yeah, mainly because of exams in general. So incidentally, next week is Carnival. So it's a you know, like big you know, Mardi Gras adjacent type of festival. I don't think it's exactly Mardi Gras, but it's, you know, it's a similar idea behind it, I'm pretty sure. So basically most of that week is off as well, but there's plenty of stuff in the workings around the town. Oh, sorry, around the towns, should I say. I finally have a very, very good excuse to go exploring around the different places. Speaking of which, I feel like I have somehow followed a path that I thought would take me down to the river onto private property. So I'm going to retrace my steps before I actually trespass. Yeah, you can see in the background there, the house that's like that path there looks private to me. So yeah, just gonna go back. Yeah, so during the face-to-face sessions with the students, I actually talked to them a lot about Carnival, because the thing is that Teacher 4 told me to go through like stuff that they had already covered. I asked them if I wanted to focus on anything. They of course said no most of the time. If they did, we focused on that, but honestly, like even though I have 4 of them to cover in 10 minutes, some of them like they give such short answers that it's like nearly impossible for me to like get a back and forth going unless I change the subject. So like, I mean, at one point some of them just started talking about Dragon Ball because they've seen me wear Dragon Ball shirts in the past, and we had a whole debate. They seemed to not get why my favorite character was Piccolo compared to the likes of Vegeta, for example. In fact, that was a recommendation I got. Hey, you know, if you need to find a costume for Carnival, because you wear costume for Carnival, by the way, then they're nearby in the Chinese bazaar in Portugal. That you can get Vegeta costumes, and I did go there. There were Vegeta costumes right next to Goku ones. Well, they were called I think it was Super Warrior and Monkey King for branding reasons, but it was very clear what they were. But yeah, I made a whole weird advertising about that. I just need to process that one and upload that today. Because I was talking about my experience of that yesterday, but as I continue. So yeah, that was a discussion, and I do love the fact that a Galician person told a British person to go to a Chinese bazaar in Portugal to find an outfit based on a Japanese character. I love that. 5 layers of globalization right there. Perfect. No notes. Yeah. Yeah. So overall, like, there's some of them like said like, okay, well, I'm going to plan to go to this particular festival on this day, or we're going to do this on that day. And they said to me, oh yeah, there's like several things happening in like multiple different places, so I had to do a Google search or something and just, you know, map out a terrain or something. Am I going as Vegeta? Probably not. I actually have I actually ordered I actually bought in that same shop a wizard trainee outfit, which is Hogwarts uniforms. If I can find a Piccolo costume, like I followed it online or something, then I will get that. But yeah, because if I'm going as any characters, I'm probably going as Piccolo. I might consider for actual Carnival festivities going as potentially Monkey King, but Vegeta, while not a character I dislike, definitely not one of my favorites. So yeah, I kind of undersold him a little bit in terms of comparing character arts with Piccolo. Maybe I was a bit harsh in my portrayal of that when I talked to the students. If I could go back on that conversation, I probably would rephrase what I was getting at. So yeah, but other than that, yeah, we'll see. I'm sure a Piccolo costume would come in handy in general, even if it is called something else. I mean, it might be called Demon Prince or something, because Piccolo Jr., son of Demon King Piccolo. I don't know. I know what they would do in that situation. Yeah, and the reason I'm thinking of getting a second one is because I had to do an emergency purchase, basically, because it turns out that that much like Magosto, if you remember my talking of that back in November, that we actually in the school they celebrated it much sooner, and I think now I'm starting to clock on as to why. Like back in primary school, I always thought that the celebrations were like on the specific days, but now that I think about it, it actually makes sense to do some like holiday themed events before the actual holiday, because of course, why would you come into school during that time? The exception was San Isidro, which is Madrid specific, I think, mostly. Madrid and maybe Castilla y Leon, possibly, because he's like a very specific patron saint. Because we had events on actual San Isidro Day, May 15th. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I guess I don't remember going to school on actual Halloween. And who knows, maybe we did have Carnival off, I just never noticed. Or never bothered to consider why. Because I don't think we ever went to any of the big Carnival parades if there were in Madrid. I mean, there have to have been in Madrid, I mean, come on. Although now that I say that, actually, speaking of Madrid, I just realized that's another plan that I had to run by, was, you know, what days I was free, because my parents are considering another trip to Madrid, which I would definitely be interested in taking part in. Honestly, if it's a toss between Madrid and you know, the different towns and such, and finding out what Feira Barreiro is all about, I'm gonna go with Madrid. Just on the basis that, again, you know, I pretty much take any excuse I can to go there. As clearly as do they. I mean, it was around this time last year that we were in Madrid to begin with, actually. I might have been filming Walking Wednesday in Retiro around this exact time. So yeah, I'm sure that there's something there, which, I mean, I will say, if that's the case, I wonder if my parents will bring costumes. Who knows? Maybe I'll find a Super Warrior and Monkey King costume for them. Just be like, hey, here you go, now we match. No, probably not. Yeah, but for the actual school festival, I'm thinking, yeah, I'll probably just use the Hogwarts one, because it was there, it made sense, and it wouldn't have to be a custom order that I would have to get in such an urgent manner. Because I feel like if I order something today, it will get there by, you know, Monday or whenever. That is unless, oh wait, actually, that is unless I have to unless I'm in Madrid by that point already. Well, my point is I have a spare, so whatever ends up happening, I'll be covered. So yeah. I keep going down that direction. Let's go this direction this time. So yeah, that's what's been happening in the once again never boring series of events here. I guess I've had more welding classes really than the than English ones. Now I think about it, at least this week, which is bizarre because I thought I was going to be done with the welding classes because they have, as of right now, I think 3 weeks before they go to their like companies, including Carnival. And it does seem like the welding teacher has plans for me to, because I'm teaching the second years right now, to then help out with the first years and see what their level is at after they have gone. So it won't be like I have to scramble around for like different hours. That being said, that I might want to bring that up with him and the coordinator, because there are some classes, particularly on weeks with teacher 2, there's like one particular class that I only get like 1 session with, compared to another class that I have 3 with. So that distribution, I might want to negotiate. Not because I dislike the people in the 3 groups, but yeah, it's definitely an unfair spread overall. Yeah. But yeah, for this week they've been well, they had some things where they had like a specific order, I think, which was to set up some like parking racks for scooters, actually, which they didn't seem to be very enthused about, but you know, it was still something new for them. Today they were just focused on different positions, like welding positions. Which apparently are, you know, have like numbers and letters to do. It's like, oh yes, this is pose 5G, I think was actually one of them, that they were going over. You know, a lot of stuff was to do with tubes as well. Meanwhile, what I have been tasked to do this time, I think I mentioned this last week, but because like overall the school is trying to send people to do like the international you know, like language qualification stuff, like the A1, A2, B1, B2 things. I don't think they're doing C1 or C2. I doubt it. I did have someone ask me this week if I had C2 in Spanish, so I guess they say, huh, but unofficially. It's like, oh no. That's the thing, because some people say, oh, I speak at you know, a B1 level, or you know, a C2 level, or in, you know, or whatever, and they haven't actually got the qualifications, but because they're so like well known as to what they're looking for, it's like, okay, you know what, if you did take the exam, this is what you would get. So this is the, officially unofficial type of thing, but they're doing the official stuff. So, and I wrote down some names for them to for people to, I think, which ones I thought could apply for certain exams. Up until B1, I didn't give anyone above a B2, based on what I found online for the qualifications. And yeah, and because of that, the 3 students I put down for B1 are the ones that the welding teacher asked me to focus on very specifically. So yeah, so he said, he said, tail them, focus on, like ask them like everything. And yeah, so actually, I even had my phone out and I was, going through, is like, yes, so tell me, what are your live music tastes, and how would you plan a night to watch some live music? Which is one of the questions that apparently you get. I later found out, thanks to one of them, that the welding teacher had given him a couple of pieces of paper, a couple of booklets type of things, so you could for the purposes of grammar, particularly with ironically enough, the things that I'm going over with the Teacher 4 class, relative pronouns, which I did cover with them, but they don't seem to remember, so just as well. Yeah, so yeah, so the one teacher gave me that before I then found out from Teacher 4 that I didn't have to stay any longer. So that's when I left to get some lunch. Yeah, and after lunch I came here. So, I don't know. I wrote down some names for A1 and A2. I think they're sending people for A2, but not for A1. But the A2 class I haven't really seen at all, and that does worry me to some degree, because among the B1 students, the one that had the booklet, for now at least, the other 2 are going to get it, but the one that told me about it and the grammar, he's quite nervous about the exam, but he's giving it his all. He's putting in the effort. He's been looking through the grammar. Still not good relative pronouns, but we're working on that. And he seems to be taking it seriously. Another one who is just saying like, oh well, if I go and if I fail, I fail, but if not, it'll be an interesting thing. If I pass, then fantastic. To which I say to him, well, I mean, that's great and all, but my job right now is to make sure you pass. So help me out here, please. So yeah, but then he also said, oh yeah, well, remember to go the other 2. It's like, yes, I know, I'm not trying to play favorites here. Or I guess when you're playing favorites would be, more like targeting from his perspective, but whatever. So that was the thing. Yeah, so I don't know if that's the case with the B1s. There's only 3 of them. If there's that much of a dissonance between them, I wonder what's going to happen with the A2s that aren't, getting any focus from me, and I'm not, telling around to get them or anything. That's what feels like targeting to me, to be honest. Just following those specific 3. And not to mention as well that they're trying to still do their positions, and they still get things right, and they still need to focus on that for the sake of potentially not getting fired from their is that still the same train? Oh wow, I wasn't that far away from the staircase down in the end. Who knew? Well, time to go back the way I came. Yes, I don't know. In other news, I completely forgot to mention last week that that Bon made a birthday Kahoot for me, about me, that is, and let me take part in it, because similarly to how I made like Who Knows Aiden the Best, you know, which I think is, I forgot if I edit on my channel or his. It's one of the two, but I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, similar to that, but instead of like there being 21 questions because Aiden was turning 21 at the time, Bon actually made 49 tabs in Kahoot, because some of them were just essentially like funny quotes that I'd said over basically I was gonna say over the past years, but so really over the year, because they were pretty much all for 2024. I think that's because, you know, he was like scrolling back in a certain order or something, or had like that particular portion saved, basically. And also I think we met in 2023, so that makes perfect sense anyway. And yeah, some of them were interesting because he enlisted the help of some other people who seem to, you know, want to be very thorough in their research to a to a degree that was like, why are you going to that extent? And then other things I was pleasantly surprised by, like, you know, like how like certain things come up like in a nostalgia formation. I also had to clarify certain points. I didn't get all the questions right because some of them were, you know, like how many videos are on this particular players, what range are they in, and I messed up on a few of those. I also got called out by a red herring of Erasmus the Elf versus Erasmus the Elf. That was an embarrassing way to lose a streak. But yeah, a lot of that live stream was me basically making sure that if there were some things that were worded strangely or could be misinterpreted, or if there were two correct answers, one that was more correct than the other, just by you know, then I clarified those, because that's the issue, of course, with making those things as a surprise, is that you have to be really sure of what you're doing. That's why I made that's why a lot of the questions that I did for the Aiden quiz were things like, you know, what was this, you know, neighborhood-based series called? 62 Starfall Avenue, 65 Starfall Drive, or 68 Starfall Gates, you know, that kind of thing. Versus you know, what were these Minecraft roleplays? I remember there was one part where I actually had to look up, because I made the Aiden quiz like a year before for his 20th birthday, then added like one question afterwards and modified the answer to the how old was he. Well, along with Emily. A lot of the Emily questions were kind of like a similar thing. Which of these is not such and such type of thing? Oh wait, that was me to start off with, I think, or maybe I can't remember now. Yeah, you can check the stream. But yeah, most of that kind of like went to you know, scrolling through Aiden's channel and like a little bit of personal history, and also some of a surprise, because Aiden himself didn't realize that Fallen Angels predated a lot of what would be considered quite old Minecraft series. And I had to look that one up as well, because I forgot that I actually wrote that one and made that the answer. But yeah, there were two episodes of the Minecraft series that, or two Minecraft series that came out the day after Fallen Angels, because Fallen Angels being a much more regularly updated show and longer running, it seems more modern. That was the trap, and I trapped myself. So yeah, it's always fun to do those, because either whether you're a subject of them, or, you know, the host, or just someone trying to play along and try to determine, oh well, I'm not going to be able to do this because I don't know that I've known this person for only a few months, or versus like, I've known this person for years but I don't know about the modern stuff. It's, you know, it's a mix that you get. That was our thing with the Aiden quiz, by the way, that we actually knew who was going to participate, so we had like an idea of like what questions to ask, like for certain like demographics, basically. You know, who knew Aiden from the Minecraft days, from the pure Minecraft days, I mean, versus, you know, who met him through potentially myself or through, you know, his gacha work or something. And I think it was kind of similar for the Jacob quiz. I mean, except for like everyone was kind of from the past 5 years, basically. There was no one. There's no. Because I think also because Bond didn't have the contact info for anyone before that, nor would they have been suited for the quiz. But yeah, that was last week. I just forgot to mention it. I wanted to give it some attention now because it was fantastic. And Bond, thank you for putting that together. That was amazing. Speaking of people who put things together for my sake, another new Jazzixy review just dropped, along with several others in the passing of the torch chain, which you know, was only briefly interrupted by a suggestion from Ghost Kitty of something that seemed like it was being phrased as hilarious, which just ended up traumatizing a bunch of people. So yeah, as far as reviews go, we've been getting back into the groove. And yeah, I don't know what's going to happen like this next week, incidentally, because if that's a holiday that is planned, then yeah, that's that might mean yet another departure for me, which is just as well because I don't have such an early start anymore. I have an earlier finish. I can actually probably afford to do a stream tonight when I wasn't planning to. So yeah, hopefully I won't seem as physically tired by then. I might just do the old Spanish siesta beforehand. But yeah, before that, choir. Which reminds me, another thing that's happened this week. We've stopped doing choir rehearsals during break time because to some degree they weren't effective. Like the one that I went to for the tenors last time had just me. We were waiting for people to show up, and then they didn't because exams and whatnot. But even the soprano groups take forever to like show up, and then afterwards only have like 10-15 minutes to really do anything once we've done warm-ups and whatnot and everything. Baritones, it kind of varies. Sometimes there's lots of people, sometimes there aren't. But Wednesday, you know, at 3 is when everyone shows up. So that's the same one, which means I haven't done any singing, at least in the school, other than casually, for some time. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that for sure. But yeah, but I will say, good news for you lot though, is that means that during that time, I've filled in those gaps with mainly Mutant Girl. I've been doing screenshots during that break time, and I've completely finished all the ones I need for Reyna. I've started on Julius, and I'm doing Morwenna on the other computer. So you know, no matter which one I've access to, I've been toiling away. Morwenna required a lot more custom posing and posing imports as well. So yeah, so her being separate kind of makes sense here. But yeah, that's it's slowly taking shape. Although hopefully not too slowly. Again, I missed a lot of crunch time last year when I was in Madrid. This time, if I happen to be on a train at the time, then I will certainly make the best use of that. Which yeah, I'll be using Renfe Normal, not Mercancías, and that's how you bring something full circle. So, with the hopeful understanding that I have not forgotten anything this time round, I will sign off now and say please leave a like or dislike because your opinion matters. And so I've done this already. And on that note, until next time, farewell.